You ever just get the urge to steal a bunch of stuff? To break the law and not care about the consequences? No? Well, I guess Marlena Velez isn't like most people. Being internet famous apparently wasn't exciting enough for this 22-year-old content creator from Cape Coral, Florida. Marlena Velez, a mother of 2 children, oh yeah, she's a mom, with over 400,000 followers on social media, was caught stealing from Target. And she didn't just swipe an eyeshadow palette or a trendy pair of sunglasses. Nah, this girl stole more than $500 worth of merchandise. And this wasn't her first run-in with the law either. Who is Marlena Velez? If you're on TikTok, you might have come across 1 or 2 of her videos. She's pretty popular on the platform, boasting hundreds of thousands of fans. She posts a lot of day in my life videos, many which have garnered over 1 million views. She films herself trying on outfits, doing her makeup, taking care of her kids, you know, that kind of stuff. On the surface, she's just your average mommy vlogger, but sometimes she veers off course from her regular content, giving her audience a glimpse of who she really is. Of course, she doesn't title the video, "Get ready with me and watch me steal from Target," but that's exactly what she did. She recorded herself shoplifting and posted it online. Now, I'm sure she didn't intend to be caught, but she walked straight into a trap of her own making. I know what you're thinking. Why would someone with millions of views on TikTok need to steal anything? Surely she makes enough money to afford anything she could ever want, right? Of course, you'd be right, but where's the fun in that? It seems like Marlena just likes to break the law, and she has been doing it since she was 17 apparently. But before I get into her past criminal history, let me tell you about her most recent arrest. On October 30th, 2024, Marlena walked into a Target with intentions to pull off her biggest heist yet. She walked around for a while, grabbing several items off the shelves, acting all nonchalant, then finally made her way to the front of the store to self-checkout like a regular customer. One by one, she pretended to scan all the goods in her cart, but in reality, she was scanning a counterfeit barcode she probably printed off a shady website. Later, the Cape Coral Police Department told the press that the fake barcode reduced the price of each item significantly. Marlena thought she could outsmart Target. Well, she was wrong. The security cameras at the store captured everything, including Marlena's face. A photo of the thief was then posted to social media in hopes that the public could help identify the woman. And boy did the public deliver. Thanks to her large following online, it wasn't long before an anonymous tipster ID'd her. And not only did they give Marlena's name, but they also provided the police with the influencer's Instagram handle. Damn. Say what you want about her, but we can all learn a lesson or two from Marlena. You could even say her videos are educational. What not to do if you plan to rob a store. Once they knew who she was, it wasn't hard for officers to find Marlena's TikTok account, where she posted the incriminating video. When they noticed that Marlena was wearing the same outfit in the video compared to the shoplifting photo from Target, tan pants, tan shirt, and glasses, they knew they found the right person. The clothing and miscellaneous items she stole were valued at $532. She probably was patting herself on the back as she loaded the items into her car, but justice would soon be served. Well, sort of. Not even a month later, on November 21st, Marlena was booked into the Lee County Jail, trading in her normally trendy clothes for an orange jumpsuit. She was charged with petty theft for an item valued between $100 and $750. Here's her mugshot, looking like a knockoff version of the person she typically is in her videos. You'd expect her to keep a low profile after such an embarrassing situation, but she didn't. Marlena made bail and went right back on TikTok, trying to turn her arrest into an opportunity. That's right, she started her next video with,
"Get ready with me to talk about the elephant in the room."
Her fans and even people who didn't know who she was before couldn't click on the video fast enough. But you know what she didn't address? Anything about the allegations, her trip to the Lee County Jail, or her apparent kleptomania. She completely avoids the whole topic, which kind of makes sense. I mean, it's an ongoing case, so why would you incriminate yourself? But in the background of the video, Marlena's mugshot makes an appearance. She framed it and placed it on her dresser in clear view of the camera, as if it were a professional photo of her own kids. Yo, this girl is wild. I mean, who does that? Marlena does that. Now get this. She posted bail and jumped back into her daily routine of recording videos for TikTok. But things were about to get much worse for the content creator. Guys, I can't make this stuff up. She was caught stealing from Target a second time. On October 30th, Marlena shoplifted $500 worth of items. And because she wasn't caught immediately, she was like, I'ma do it again. Yup. On November 20th, she does the exact same thing, except this time she brings her man and her kids with her. Same method as before, she pulls out that false barcode and pretends to scan the 16 items in her cart, totaling about $225. Then she walks out the door as if nothing happened. Within 2 weeks, Marlena was apprehended twice for the thefts, once on November 21st and again on November 30th, when the second theft was discovered. Cops showed up at her house and then was arrested on the spot. To be honest, I don't really care that she shoplifted. It's not like she killed anyone. In this economy, it's rough out here. You know, tariffs and all that. Prices are through the roof and lots of people do this sort of stuff out of necessity. People risk it for the biscuit all the time is what I'm trying to say. But this just isn't the case for Marlena. She has no reason to be doing this. Like, I don't have access to her bank account, so it's not like I can tell you exactly how much money she was making. But let's do some quick math based on the most recent estimates for influencers on TikTok. Let me start by saying that not everyone posting on TikTok is making millions of dollars. In fact, most people hardly make enough money to make a career out of it. But let's just say Marlena was doing pretty well for herself. These numbers come from exploitingtopics.com in case you wanted to check this data out for yourself. According to the site, TikTok influencers on average make around $131,874 a year. But these estimates are a bit misleading when you look at famous TikTok influencers, you know, like Charli D'Amelio, Addison Rae, Zach King, Mr. Beast. These creators are making between 7 and 8 figures. Now, Marlena wasn't anywhere near as famous as them, but she was popular. I mean, she had nearly 500,000 followers before her account went dark. Based on their follower count, influencers on Marlena's level can make anywhere from $1,000 to $3,500 per sponsored post. Just one post. And Marlena was posting daily. So even if she was only doing one sponsored post or brand deal a week, that's still over $50,000 a year. And that's on the low end of things. Hardworking people out here are working over 40 hours a week for less than that. And yet somehow they get by without stealing. So I think it's ironic and a little insulting that Marlena not only had the audacity to shoplift knowing darn well that she could easily afford what she was stealing, but also that she really thought she could get away with it, with recording it and posting it online. Now, I bet you're wondering how she was caught. I mean, she was pretty sneaky bringing in that barcode. If you didn't know what to look for, you'd never guess she wasn't actually paying for the stuff in her cart. That's why Target has loss prevention, you know, the security guards in the front, to catch these sort of things. If you've ever used self-checkout before, you've probably noticed that you're on camera. If you're like me, you make silly faces or wave. Sometimes you gasp at your appearance like, damn, I'm ugly. You know, that's what I do at least. When you use self-checkout, you're being recorded and someone behind the screen is watching every move you make. That's where loss prevention comes in. As you can imagine, there's tons and tons of footage for these people to review. So sometimes it takes them a while to catch these types of things, sometimes weeks. But that's the job. And that's how Marlena was caught. After she was found out, loss prevention was on high alert and noticed her immediately when she came back to try and steal again from the store. In the end, Marlena ended up pleading no contest to 2 counts of petty theft on March 4th, 2025. As part of her plea agreement, she was sentenced to 12 months of probation by Lee County Judge Maria Gonzalez. Given her history, I half expect her to be up to her old antics as soon as her sentence is up, but I guess only time will tell. After her arrest, Marlena's TikTok page switched to private, making it clear that she would not be posting more videos anytime soon. I mean, what's she gonna do? Act like nothing happened? Nah, her days of being an online influencer are over, or are they? After all, what company would ever partner up with a known thief, especially one as brazen as her, posting a video of herself shoplifting to hundreds of thousands of followers? I'd like to think that's the case, but we have people like Gypsy Rose out here monetizing her past criminal history, so we'll just have to wait and see what the future holds. But like I said earlier, breaking the law is nothing new for Marlena. Apparently she's been doing this kind of stuff for years, since she was 17, and for all we know, she could have started even younger. We just don't have records of any crimes before then. But her official criminal record began when she was still in high school. It's pretty common for teenagers to get into a bit of mischief every now and then. You know, sneaking out after your parents go to sleep, underage drinking, joyriding, you know, stuff I may or may not have done myself. But Marlena took things a step further than other kids her age. In 2019, she was arrested not for shoplifting, but for Grand Theft Auto. She really thought to herself, yeah, this is a good idea. She likely wasn't considering the consequences of her actions. I mean, at 17 years old, everything is just fun and games. But Marlena was in for a rude awakening. When she stole the vehicle, she probably felt on top of the world, like she could get away with it. She could get away with anything. But that feeling didn't last too long. It stopped abruptly. She was cruising down the road, jamming out to whatever song was popular at the time, maybe singing at the top of her lungs when BAM! She crashed. She crashed the car. And when I say crashed, I mean she completely destroyed the thing. There was no fixing it. Whose car was this? It wasn't some random vehicle she picked up from a parking lot. Marlena knew the owner. In fact, it belonged to her friend Amanda Santana. The two of them clicked after meeting at school. Amanda trusted Marlena so much that when Marlena asked for her car keys, Amanda handed them over without a second thought. What's the worst that can happen? She was about to find out. I think it's safe to say they're no longer close. According to Amanda, Marlena and her were supposed to hang out in the car together one day during lunchtime. But yeah, that didn't happen. Amanda walks out to the parking lot looking for her car and she can't find it. She looks everywhere, even double checking, thinking she may have overlooked it. She was like, where the heck is my car? It wasn't anywhere to be seen. Little did she know, by then, Marlena had totaled her car, crashing it into a ditch at Dunkin' Donuts nearby. It wasn't bad enough that Marlena wrecked Amanda's car, she also never paid restitution for the damages. It was as if she never felt any remorse for what she did. She was like, sorry about it, then moved on with her day. The audacity of this girl. It's not clear how much time she served or what punishment she received as a consequence, but whatever it was, apparently wasn't enough. As time went on, it was clear that Marlena never learned her lesson. A few years later, in July 2023, she was right back at it. While visiting a Walmart on Del Prado Boulevard, Marlena walks down the aisle full of kitchen items and sees a couple of things she can't live without. She loads the items into her cart, totaling $63, and then attempts to walk right out the front door, but she was caught red-handed by security, who promptly called the police. In April of 2024, Marlena pleaded no contest to the shoplifting charges. She was like, yeah, I did that, but still, she didn't serve any time. Instead, she essentially got a slap on the wrist. She was given 6 months of probation and was ordered to complete an anti-theft course, which she did. But I don't know, it's like she just zoned out during this course or whatever, because given her most recent charges, she just couldn't keep her hands to herself. Cue that Selena Gomez song.
Can't keep my hands to myself.
What do you guys think? Will probation be enough to stop her from shoplifting once and for all? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're at it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. See ya.